on to hear her speech?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Terrorist practiced on a gun range in Dunedin. He didn't break any rules and no one went to the police. At that stage in New Zealand's history, pistol clubs were lightly regulated and non-pistol clubs were self-regulated. In the aftermath of his killing of 51 people, regulations for clubs and ranges were tightened up right across New Zealand. There was a consistent standard nationwide. This was to ensure public safety and to ensure the safety of those who used guns on ranges. The Firearms Safety Authority had oversight of pistol and non-pistol ranges. What we do know is once they did get oversight, that 267 safety improvement notices were issued to the the pistol clubs for failing to meet safety standards in the past. This would be to do with ballistics. So if they were shooting in areas where people could be horse riding or bike riding, they had to make improvements to change those ranges to make them safe. Let's remember that that is for the pistol ranges. The non-pistol are still under review. That work has not been done for the non-pistol ranges. So this crucial information, that 267 improvement notices were issued by police, did not make it into the cabinet paper which made these decisions. Nicole McKee, and it's been published in the Herald, stated that she did not provide that new cabinet paper, and she said to cabinet that there was nothing to indicate that any safety issues under the previous system, and she failed to include the information about the 267 improvement notices that have been issued. That vital information was missing from the cabinet paper that made the decision to deregulate gun ranges in New Zealand that we are now considering, and that is a very serious concern for all New Zealanders and our police service who are in line for dealing with this and mopping up. Nicole McKee is unwinding all this, and the reason is that there is a risk, and the risk is that gun ranges could close, that this level of regulation might close gun ranges, and that's a real concern. The Ministry of Justice and the Regulatory Impact Statement have been very clear in stating that this is an assumption. There is absolutely no information or no evidence to demonstrate that this is a realistic threat. The proposals in this legislation try to give the impression that there is regulatory oversight, but severely undermine the ability of New Zealand Police to regulate and monitor and enforce the safety at shooting clubs and ranges. There are no compliance tools of any kind, no penalty provisions and for refusing access to inspect ranges. The public and law-abiding users of shooting ranges can have absolutely no confidence that the range in their neighbourhood is operating safely. The bill is also half the story, Mr Chair, as all the other work goes on in the regulations. There is a complete lack of detail about how the new enrolment system will work. It is assumed it will be spelled out in the technical regulations, which we are yet to see. This takes us back to pre-2019. And on top of this, there is a new requirement, a new pop-up rifle range that can be enrolled and certified if they hold only 2 events a year. The bill only states that police must be notified and gives police no follow-up powers of inspection or certification. The Wild West is coming to a backyard near you, ladies and gentlemen. There is nothing in the bill to specify the format that police must be notified, and it is assumed that this detail is yet to come. I'll conclude, Mr Chair, by talking about the consultation. The regulatory impact statement states that the consultation was rushed, it was skewed towards the firearms users, with 91% of submissions coming from firearms groups. What other sector in New Zealand gets to write its own safety rules like this? It wouldn't happen in maritime or rail or any other recreational sport or area. Well, this is firearms we're talking about as well. 91% of submissions came from the firearms community. There are 230,000 licence holders, which is around 4% of the population. And the minister responsible for all of this work is a member of the Wellington branch of the Deerstalkers Association, which makes her automatically a member of COLFO. And so what we have is a member of the Coalition of Licensed Firearm Owners writing the rules and regulations for ranges in New Zealand that only cater to that firearms community. The safety of New Zealanders, the safety of our communities are coming second. The gun lobby and gun mates are being put ahead of our communities, and it's time we called it out loud and clear.
Nicole McKee's association with COLFO is very concerning to me. That's how she entered in public life, was as a lobbyist for that organisation.
Okay. But we do have the safety provisions, right? That we don't allow the ARs. So,
from what Ginny's just sat there and said was that you can have a pop-up gun range set up, and all you got to tell is the police what you're doing. Now, put it this way: if you want a pop-up liquor license venue, the police have more power, by the sounds of what Ginny Anderson has just described.
So do they have less powers, or
so the police, but from what Ginny is describing with the bill, the police would have less power. So currently, if you have a special temporary license to sell alcohol, say at a Newtown Festival, for example, that's something that happens in my backyard, you have to get a special license. The police can come onto your site and inspect you anytime. From what's been described on there, you want to tell the police you're setting it up, but you can't actually sit down there and have the police come in and inspect you.
Oh, okay.
That is actually, you need something of the ability to have inspections of some sort, or a checks and balance that ain't internal, because you're dealing with,
It's like, we inspected ourselves. And it's like, no, you got to have an independent outside organisation do that for you.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're seen as independent and you can't self-regulate something that you might not regulate so well yourself, especially when it comes to weapons. I mean,
yeah, or when people's lives could be at stake.
That's right. That's right. I would say I would not be for that kind of situation where there needs to be some aspect where police is allowed to go into. Well, I mean, okay, they are not having gang patches, right? So, but to kind of
well, they could have gang patches going on to shooting ranges. That could happen.
It's possible, and I think it's good that you allow the police to have they are allowed to have a look inside, because you can't have ammunition. Okay, fair enough. The provisions where ammunition is to be used is to make sure ammunition don't be left lying around and it go into the wrong hands. I agree with that, but why have those technicalities when you just need to make sure you have the necessary, not bureaucratic regulations, but safety regulations?
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
just a question, if I may, to Dr. Eric. Did you read the open letter from the Police Association? Because I think that might be quite an insightful read to go over.
I'll have a look at that. Yes.
Yes, I highly recommend looking at that one.
Because didn't Nicole McKee try to exclude the Police Association from consultation?
Yeah, I mean, Colfo dismissed them as being nonsense. Dismissed the president of the association.
Oh, well, Chris Cahill.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'll have a look at that. Yes.
Yeah.